For Dan Weber, I'm Johnny Freatman, providing you instant analysis here at the Coliseum following USC's scrimmage today. Dan, there were a lot of recruits in attendance today. Did you see any improvements, any subtle attempts to woo these recruits?
I don't know if it was subtle. It was. I just thought it was a chance to show some of the video highlight packages that they did last year. The Matt Barkley 5 touchdowns against 6 whatever against Colorado, and then the UCLA Notre Dame games. But I thought the highlight of the video board was the history of USC football, with just some great old black and white clips, some of the, back to the 1920s with the Notre Dame game, some of the, Howard Jones pictures that you haven't seen, Bear Bryant and John McKay. I just thought it was arresting. I asked Lane if he looked up like everybody else was looking up at the video board instead of practice, but he said, no, we put those together. He said, I've seen them a bunch. So Lane knew exactly what they were doing, and I think the recruits had to kind of look up at that, second biggest video board, I guess, in college football and say, I could be up there someday. That might be me. You do realize when you watch some of those, O.J. Simpson was really good.
He was indeed. And Dan, on the field today, a lot of attention given to Cody Kessler and Max Wittek. Barkley did not participate in the scrimmage. Well,
actually, we have to correct that. Just talking to them, he was calling some of the plays. They actually had Kennedy, Palomalu, and Clay Helton shared in the play calling duties, but then they were saying, Matt was doing a pretty good job. He actually started contributing to some of the play calling. So that was the extent of it. This was a chance to let those two, to let Trey Madden, I think, get a sense of it, to let Andre Walker see how difficult it can be out there on the left side. I think, as Lane said, it's mostly for individual development, not exactly a scrimmage, kind of a little bit more game condition at the end than the regular 11-on-11 at practice, but it was basically a regular practice with a little bit more game condition work, to finish up.
Without Marquise Lee, Robert Woods, and Barkley on the field, it seemed like it was another practice/scrimmage won by the defense. Who stuck out to you, and what do you think about their overall play so far through 9 practices this spring?
I think Ed was real impressed with the guy he kept talking about was Antoine Woods at nose, that he's really come a long way with his balance, his strength, his stamina, that they hadn't felt like they were getting as much out of the nose tackle position, and today they did. But also, we were kidding with Cody Kessler. Once Victor Blackwell hurt his hand and maybe a little bit his knee, nothing serious, but that meant you're down to one receiver. And I said, what are you thinking about when you're scrambling? And he said, he said, you take one look, and then you start running. And I said, what are you looking for? And he said, where are my receivers? He said, that was kind of the way. And basically, you had to have Devon Flournoy either caught it or that was it. And he looked awfully good again today.
Yeah, well, that's all we have time for today, but we will be back at Howard Jones Field on Tuesday, and we'll provide more instant analysis after that practice. For Dan Weber, I'm Johnny Freatman, signing off from the LA Coliseum.